You don't have a procrastination problem. You have a stress problem wearing a disguise. For years, you've probably told yourself the same lie. I'm lazy. I lack discipline. Other people just have more willpower than I do. But here's the surprising part. Procrastination has almost nothing to do with laziness and barely anything to do with the task itself. It's your brain trying to protect you from something it thinks is a threat. Picture this. You open your laptop to finally study for that exam. You stare at the screen for maybe 10 seconds, and then, almost without deciding to, your hand reaches for your phone. You scroll. You tell yourself it's just for a minute. 45 minutes later, you're still scrolling, and now you feel worse than before you started. Sound familiar? That's not weakness. That's a script your brain is running on autopilot. Here's why it happens. Think of your brain as having two employees. One is your inner alarm system, always scanning for danger. The other is your inner planner, the part that thinks ahead and knows that studying actually matters. When you sit down to do something that feels hard or scary, your alarm system clocks it as a threat, the same way it would clock a loud noise or a near miss in traffic. It doesn't know the difference between this exam might go badly and actual danger, so it hits the panic button and your inner planner gets shoved out of the driver's seat. In that moment, your brain hands you an exit, your phone, a video, literally anything except the thing you're avoiding. But here's where most people get it wrong. The second you take that exit, your stress drops and you feel relief. That relief feels like a reward, so your brain quietly files away a lesson. Avoiding this task makes the bad feeling go away. Do that enough times and you're not choosing to procrastinate anymore. You're running a loop. Stress is the trigger. Avoidance is the pattern. Relief is the reward. This is why you procrastinate, and it's also exactly why just try harder never actually works to stop procrastinating. So how do you actually break the cycle? Not with guilt, not with more discipline. You break a loop at the trigger the very first moment it fires. Next time you feel that pull, hesitating, suddenly fascinated by literally anything else, stop and name it out loud. Say, I'm stressed about this. That sentence alone shifts control back to your inner planner, then count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It sounds almost too simple, but that countdown interrupts the automatic pattern before it fully takes over. Here's the surprising part. Don't commit to finishing the task. Commit to 5 minutes. Your brain isn't actually afraid of the work. It's afraid of how big the work feels. 5 minutes feels small enough that the alarm barely goes off. And research shows once people actually start, around 80% of them keep going. You don't need motivation to be productive. You need permission to begin badly. There's one mistake that makes procrastination worse, and almost nobody talks about it: boredom by comparison. Your brain doesn't judge entertainment on its own. It judges by contrast. Sitting right next to your work is an infinite scroll built to be more stimulating than almost anything on earth. Of course, the work loses. It was never a fair fight. So change the comparison. Put your phone in another room. Close every tab except the one you need. Remove the back door entirely, and your brain stops asking whether to do the task and starts looking for ways to make it tolerable. And one more mistake worth naming: punishing yourself afterward. The shame spiral after procrastinating doesn't build discipline, it builds more stress. And stress is the exact trigger that restarts this whole loop. Self-compassion isn't soft, it's strategic. It removes the fuel the habit runs on. Stopping procrastination isn't about becoming a stricter, more disciplined version of yourself. It's about interrupting one small loop again and again until it loses its grip. So the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, don't wait for motivation. Name the stress, count it down, and give yourself just 5 minutes. The battle isn't against procrastination, it's against the loop. Break the loop, and procrastination breaks with it.